Right, hello. Welcome back to Pattercast, episode 2. I'm Jack, obviously, and I'm still here with Chris, also known as Proxy.
Yes, yeah, no, it's been a little while, hasn't it? It's been a little while. We got delayed a bit. I'm sure we'll probably get into how that's pretty much happened. Why it wasn't
only a little while.
Yeah,
only
what's
like
it been like
3 months.
freaking 3 months or something? But yeah, finally getting back to the podcast. So episode 2, yeah.
I think one of the funniest things about that is like we said on like the first episode, oh yeah, we'll probably do these like not all the time, but we're gonna do them like quite often, like every other couple of weeks, and like we'll film it and then upload it. And I think we even made the joke of like, oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty of time. Blah blah blah. Yeah, we'll probably blast through quite a few. 3 months later, fucking good one.
Well, sometimes just like some people's PCs just decide to blow up, don't they? At the end of the day, so
I mean, we don't talk about exploding PCs, do we?
yeah,
Oh.
no, so.
Definitely not salty about that.
It's just slight unfortunate hiccups, but like I said, we're back now. Gonna hit up with another episode of Pattercast episode 2.
The best podcast in the world. So what we decided that we'd have a chat about this episode is something that's very relevant right now, and I think it'll be relevant for quite a while still. Is lockdown as a whole, and like the whole coronavirus side, but not really. I want to stay away from the negative sides, because we've all had enough of like that shite, and who the fuck wants to hear someone sit and talk about why they're sad?
Yeah,
like, and why they're sick of coronavirus. Like, fuck that. I mean, I know I don't want to. I want to sit back, have a drink, and have a laugh. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, it seems kind of weird that like at this stage now in January we've nearly been like living with the virus for almost a year, and a lot of stuff has happened in that year. And like you said, without focusing on the negative shit, I think there's so much other like good stories that maybe yourself will have and I'll have, and I'm sure like everyone people listening will probably have similar sort of like incidents throughout the year that they've probably done as well. So I think it's a good thing to talk about, especially with it happening for so long now. So
I think it's one of those like it's a shit situation 100%, and it's been a really shit year. Well, I keep saying a shit year. I'm forgetting it's 2021. Happy New Year's. Merry Christmas.
I know, yeah, we missed that. Completely missed Christmas and New Year, but
oh mate, I'm fuming. I wanted to do a nice episode where we're dressed up as Santa and that.
I know, yeah.
Santa over my shoulder.
Absolutely missed that completely. What a tragedy,
Yeah, so anyway, so 2020, it's 2021 now, but 2020 was a shit year, but it still had some good moments, for me anyways. Like, I know you've said you've still had some alright moments, but it's been quite dead. But I, like me personally, I still had some good stuff in a shit year, which is kind of like what I want to speak about. So if I want to take you back in time, and this is going to blow blow your mind a bit. It has been almost a year since lockdown 1 happened.
I know. It's crazy. I mean, when did it happen? The first one at end of March or something?
Well, it was like I feel like, because I like take us back a bit. Like I was still doing like college and shit. Start 2020, which is fucking ages ago. And I remember having to do my finals and shit, and all the exams and all like the stuff I needed to do all got cancelled. And that was about maybe mid-February. All colleges got closed.
Yeah. So,
I think it was 20th of March or something, we went into the first lockdown.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane, mate.
It is crazy. Like, it's I don't know about like you, but my personal experience of 2020 as a whole is that year, although it was, a pretty shit year as a whole, it went so fucking fast. Like, looking back at 2020 as a year, like, it just seemed to just disappear. And I don't know if it was because of the lockdowns, and because I personally feel when I'm not doing anything, when I'm just sort of like playing games and chilling, my time just literally just disappears. And
you lose concept of time as well, don't you?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I'm starting to get back into that routine now, to be honest. But it's, looking back, like, I just look, I genuinely don't know where that March to like July went. That period of time where, where we work at Game, like that was closed. We didn't go back to work till about July, August time, and that whole period of time just completely I don't know what I did in it. I genuinely can't remember. I can't remember what I did. Literally, it must have literally been just waking up, playing on games. I literally it's insane. It's crazy. It's honestly insane.
It's crazy to think like how many, like, you would never have thought, oh yeah, next year 2020 I'm gonna be really ambitious. You know what I'm gonna do with my life next year? I'm gonna wake up at 1 in the afternoon and play games all day. Who the fuck thinks that's gonna happen. That's not realistic. But
Yeah, no, it's
there we go.
crazy. And I mean, like,
Anyway,
it's yeah. Go on, you can go.
no, I didn't mean to rudely interrupt you. I was going to say before we get into it, I'm going to crack open a beverage so I can feel like I'm back at the pub.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I'm just chilling on that water as you do. You know, classic.
Oh.
In my Tennent's glass though, I've got it in a Tennent's pint glass. So
Oh, you drink a Tennant?
wait, it's water in a Tennent's
Oh wait,
glass.
shit.
So
I've just remembered. You literally said you're having a pint of water. I'm like, oh, you're drinking a Tennant. Nah,
I know,
bang
I'm
that.
just-
Right. Well, I am having a very nice and a very cold Corona.
wow.
Actually, that's really ironic. I didn't even mean to that be a really bad joke. That wasn't even intentional. Oh, fucking hell.
I
that's
stopped
awful.
drinking that crap when I've been here. That was gone wrong.
Corona.
No, but obviously, I was about to say before, just more like the fact that, you know, we're here talking about how pretty much we just chilled for the entire lockdown. You know, getting away from the fact that some people actually still had to work in that time. It's
Oh,
like
mate.
it's crazy. It's honestly just such a crazy sort of you know, period of time. But
It really is.
I can say looking back now as well, like personally, I kind of want to like touch on like the start, like the very start, like just before we went into the lockdown,
Ooh,
and
they were dark times.
like I always want to like talk about really like work, like our experiences like at work in coronavirus, because like I don't know about you guys, you know, if anyone like watching, you know, if you worked in a place that closed down around that time, I just remember it just, especially that like last week leading up, just being like sort of almost lawlessness in the workplace. Like people would just lost their shit because it was so like it never experienced anything like that before. It was such a strange feeling to see. You know, we work in a quite a busy shopping center, and usually it's hectic, right? It's an insane amount of people, and I remember, you know,
Karens.
yeah, we were in on like a, I think it was a Sunday, you know, weekend. Weekends are usually incredibly busy, and I just remember the place just being
Sundays.
like a ghost town, right? Like it was
Yeah.
dead towards the end of it, at least. You know, people were finally understanding, like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be going out shopping for.
Yeah, they took the fucking time.
Yeah, they took that time. It's pretty incredible. I mean, even like, you know, I think more so, you know, this past Christmas, which I'm sure we'll get onto soon. You know, some funny stories about that, but it was so strange. And I just remember like just generally the feeling at work as well was just, you know, oh, we don't give a fuck anymore. It's literally just like, you know, we know we're closing down, we know we're gone, we know we're gonna get like some, but like genuinely like I was like, you know, we're gonna close down, yeah, we'll be back at it in May, you know, we might have a month off or something.
Mate, all the debates, I remember being like, how long do you reckon we'll go? Some people were like, nah, we're not going to close. We were like, yeah, we will, but maybe it's only a few weeks.
I know, and it just turned into like an absolute shit show. But yeah, I just remember like the start of it, like from like just my own personal experience of, you know, work, and it's such a strange thing that like just happened. It's very, very odd.
Well, on the back of what you're saying there about like working and shit like that, like I know exactly you're gonna remember what I'm talking about here. But like that last shift, like you were on the shift with me, like we had that last shift before lockdown. That was fucking class. Like it was a shit time, and it was really like it was bad because like, you know, people would die and it wasn't an enjoyable thing. But like the shop was dead. There was no one coming in, like no one was coming in, and we just got loads of free shit. So like it was the last day. Literally before we closed, like it was the last couple of days, whatever. And all the shops were like getting rid of all the stuff they didn't need anymore. So like the likes of Nando's and KFC and shit were just like coming up and be like, yeah, do you want some free chicken, mate? And we're like, yes,
yes,
class.
please. I would like some free chicken. Yeah, no, it was incredible. I think like we were like literally one of the last shops to close down as well at the time.
Mate,
Like
there was
half
about
of the
6 of us
shops.
open.
Yeah, like it was incredible. It was a very, very strange time, and like to look back at it then, it's like so much has changed since then with, you know, how like shops are opening, and it's such a weird like sort of period of time. But like honestly, it just, I remember that's something which sticks in my head so much, just like how like insane it was at the start of
It
it.
literally felt like an apocalypse.
Yeah, like it was like we're just gonna be like, I can't believe that it's still happened. To be honest, it just seems like such a strange thing that's happened, and it's
one of those things you hear about, and you kind of be like, oh, whoa, what the fuck? I'm glad we're not gonna live through anything like that. And then like you look, and you're like, oh wait, hang on.
No, yeah, it's like literally, it's like this year of 2020. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys as well. I don't know if you've seen it, Jack, or anyone who's watching this right now or listening. There's a program on Netflix called like it's just based around the year. It's like a comedy around the year 2020, and I just thought that was just hilarious, just watching it. And there was stuff that I forgot about that I was like, shit, that happened this year too.
Literally,
I was like what went on?
That's a good point. Shit that happened at the very start, like it feels like a fucking decade ago.
Literally, yeah,
Like,
it's
insane.
I was like, wait, that happened? That was 2020? Like
the fires
it's
and
insane.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. The bushfires in Australia, like
really sad stuff as well, which I remember at the time people being like, this is going to be like the most talked about thing in 2020. And then coronavirus is like,
yeah, and it's just like no mate, no, it's me. But it's I know what a fucking crazy year, man. Like this year will be looked back. It'll be taught about in history lessons in 20 years time.
Our kids are gonna be talking about fucking coronavirus.
And they're gonna come up to me and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, what were you doing in coronavirus like? And I was like, wait, I was just chilling, eating some Kinder Bueno, playing on some
wanking
games.
A lot.
Yeah, like just like literally just it's
the routine for most people is just get up late as fuck, have a few wanks, drink a lot, and then play like Minecraft and shit.
Minecraft, yeah.
I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself though, if I'm just exposing myself, but that was my routine.
Yeah, I'm literally the only person in the world, like that's that's the holy trinity. Wanking, drinking a lot in Minecraft, yeah.
I actually just started a cult, mate. We just all like did it exactly the same time. We had a routine. We had to like tick it off the list and check in with each other once we're done.
And like a WhatsApp group. I've just done it for today, lads. Hope you catch up.
Then everyone claps. We don't do clap for carers. We do clap for my cult.
Oh god, yeah, no.
Anyways, so we're moving on a bit. Like down the timeline, we're just gonna go on as it goes. But like, so that was the start of it, and it didn't get much better. So, ooh, delicious. So, yeah. So shops and all that shut. We're all like, what the fuck's gonna happen? Furlough scheme starts and that, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Oh, I'm also like that. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. I will take that 80. Well, actually, in fact, we got 100%, didn't we? Which was very nice.
Yeah, we did.
We got 100%. Obviously, I know some places got 100%, some places got 80, which, at the end of the day, 80's 80. No, there's 100, but it's better than 0. So,
it is better than 0.
People who worked in retail, obviously, who had the privilege of not getting made redundant, because I know a lot of people did get made redundant at the time. A lot of places went under. We were one of the lucky ones who, our place kept going, kept running. We got some nice furlough, and it was nice, sort of. It was like a very strange, long period of like holiday. It was kind of like we're getting paid. It was.
But like you're saying, it was like a holiday to begin with. So like it was, because I don't know about you, but at the time I was really needing some holiday. I was like fucking done in, and I was a bit like, you know what, I could do with a bit of a break. And I didn't mind it. I was kind of like, all right, cool. And I remember it really well when it got announced, because I was sat playing Warzone with my pals, and Boris's announcement, and then it got announced in a lockdown, and we're all like, fuck, like what does this mean? This is interesting, I guess. So that was that, and I remember it being like, okay. And it ended up being for the first, like, I want to say the first few weeks, I was having the time of my life. I fucking
just like
drinking most nights with me mates, like not with them. I don't want to put that out, and not with them.
He's exposing himself, ladies and gentlemen. He's
let's get arrested.
Lawbreaker, FBI, open up!
Boris Johnson himself comes and just fucking puts a bullet in my head. But like I was drinking most nights with my mates on Zoom, which I tell you what, for the first while, that was such a laugh, man. Like that was hilarious. Zoom quizzes and shit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the thing which kind of sucked for me is that I did have I was meant to be going on holiday. Start of April. So I was in the zone anyway, where I was like, right, I'm going on holiday soon. I saved up loads of money over Christmas, and I was like, yeah, I'm really excited to go away. It's gonna be awesome. And then it was just like, nah. Like,
well, you had it all planned out as well.
Yeah, no, I had the flights booked, flying with KLM. I had the hotels, and it was just like when that happened. I kind of come the end of February, I kind of knew it wasn't gonna go ahead because of the way that things were going. So I kind of I wasn't necessarily heartbroken.
It's still not good though, is it?
When it happened, but that kind of sucked. But then also having the time off was also
Yeah.
really nice.
It kind of balanced out a bit where you're like, I've lost
So,
a really good holiday, but
yeah, it was kind of like, I can go on holiday, anytime realistically, later in the year if it gets better, or 2021. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? But
we'll get to that one.
that's what I was thinking at the time. I was, at the end of the day, I'm gonna save my money even more. I'm gonna have a shit ton in the bank. I don't really spend my money on much else. I can just do whatever the shit I want. So, like I said at the start, it was good. It was having that time off was really nice. It was a nice break from, and kind of like, I don't think really the actual like gravity of the situation of like the virus really sort of like hit me.
Nah.
Especially at the start, because it was very sort of like, I think because we live in the northeast of England as well, it wasn't that bad up here in the first lockdown. It never really
for a while, did it?
Nah, it never really got bad, and it kind of always felt like it was worse elsewhere. But
mad myth that you've all heard about and you've all been warned about, but never actually seen it yourself.
Yeah.
So it's always like, don't do this, don't do that, and you're like, okay, I won't, but like, I don't see it.
Yeah, no, because I don't know about.
It's very naive, but
I don't know about you, but like obviously like the first lockdown, I feel as if like it was everyone like did what they were told. I don't know why. I felt like everyone was like super.
Yeah.
Like I think I went out the house once, like outside of like literally going like on a walk like locally. I went out once, and it was to drive down to the local like Spar co-op thing to get a bag of chili sensations because I was watching WrestleMania. That's the only time from, I would say, the end of March till like probably like until I went back to work. So it was probably like the start of July. I literally like just never went anywhere. I never drove the car. It was like, obviously I still went outside to like go out and walk and stuff to like get exercise. But
I'll tell you what though, when you just said to your local spa, I actually thought you meant, you know what, break lockdown, fuck it, I'm going for a back massage. That's the first thing I thought about. You were bigging up. You were like, I didn't leave the house much. I only left the house a couple of times in like the main time. I went to the spa.
Just for a nice little
Turkish massage.
But yeah, it was like literally. I just think like everyone was like dead sort of like chill, and it was going along. I felt like it was just. It was going along nicely, wasn't it?
Done at first.
Yeah, 100%.
So everyone, like you're saying, most people were just like, fuck it, this is shit. But I don't know how bad this is, so let's just do it.
Yeah, just suck it up and sort of continue on.
But I've noticed we've said this a few times now, and like we keep going, like we're talking in past tense, and I know it's obviously because it's already happened, but it's kind of like we enjoyed it. It wasn't like we were loving it for the whole thing. It was kind of like, I do this a little scared. It's like lockdown, and then like we hit the first lockdown, like, oh, cool. And then it goes like this, and then to me it just kind of went like, oh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean,
and I think
I definitely think for like people like who, like people who are in situations that obviously I know like you really like going out socializing with your mates, and it's not that I don't as such. It's just like I maybe because I'm a little bit older than you, it's kind of I've stopped doing it as much. You know what I mean? Though, like I remember when like back when I was your age, I used to be out all the bloody time. But no, like it's
climbing trees.
Like realistically though, like it's something which I think more recently I haven't been going out as much. If I was probably like 21, I'd be like, let's get out every like. I would probably miss going out to like new. Like I said, it was something which I was thinking about the other day. Actually, is that the last time I went to a club was probably March last year. That's insane. Like like will it be? Because the clubs have been closed, haven't they, since March?
Was that not where me and you got fucking spiked?
Probably, very probably. It's something which probably
for another episode.
Yes, no, that can go into another one, but
that's a ropey one.
But no, that's crazy though, because I think probably since I was 18, like that's the longest period of time I've ever gone without really properly going out. But I think that leads probably nicely on to when it started chilling out a bit and stuff started reopening, because
shit got really nice.
Yeah, and it was
weird but nice.
It was kind of like, I think when stuff started reopening, like I said, I know I mentioned before, where we work opened, or I think it was around about the start of July.
What work?
Yes, it was around there. I think it was maybe like mid-June, and like some people went back, and then I think I went back
You
start
went
of
back out
July.
before me, didn't you? Like I was one of the last ones to go back.
Because I think you didn't come back till August, did you? I think it was like over the summer, and I think like come towards the end of lockdown, I was kind of ready to go back to work to some extent, even though
I
like
literally had to ask them for me to go back. I was sick of my fucking life.
I mean, I wouldn't quite say I was that desperate, but I was definitely sort of
I need a routine.
Yeah, no, I mean I know what you mean. It was definitely like getting to, you know, that sort of stage where it was,
but like
less.
So I think it was mainly for me, anyways. Was like we think back when shit started getting relaxed, and we take it back a bit. Like they started opening things up a bit. It wasn't normal. Definitely was not normal. Like it was still not good. But the way when they started doing like, you know, the takeaway pints, and then you could meet up with, what was it, like 6 people outside of your own household, and you could go out, and that was nice. So it was kind of like this isn't great. I can't see all my mates because I've got like groups and that I would love to see that I can't, and I've got to prioritize like 6 small group of mates. But I can see my pals. I can go, and like I remember at the time, like one of my favorite things to do was I'd go to the likes of like Brewdog or something, where they were doing takeaway pints in town, and I'd get like a pint of fucking, I don't know, Jesus Christ, why have I just forgot every single fucking drink that I enjoy? What's
just like let's just say Corona for the sake of it.
Oh, that's upset me. That's proper pissed us off. Oh well, it'll probably come back to me. But I'll grab a drink and I'll get a pint, and you'll have like the little takeaway things, which was really weird. I never thought I'd be walking around town with little takeaway cups of fucking ale.
Oh no, the lights down. It's alright. No. Yeah, but like talking about like the takeaway shit though, like that was one of the things which I noticed the most because it was incredible how much sort of like money I was spending before lockdown on takeaways. Yeah. So whether it was like Chinese, KFC, McDonald's, whatever the shit it was. You just kept saying
fuck it, didn't you?
The amount of money that I was spending on it.
Nothing else to do. Fuck it.
But like that was the strangest thing, was when like they closed originally. It was probably the biggest thing which I noticed come like June time when they started reopening. It was when I was like starting it, because like my local there's a local Chinese and you know where I live. I was about to expose myself there. And it pretty much like it's always the Chinese that I would go to, because like there's this like they do this like lush like salt and chili, you know, sort of box where you get chips, chicken wings. Unreal, right? For some reason they just didn't want to reopen. It got to like July time and it was still closed. I was like, yeah,
fucking scared.
Every other Chinese was opening, bro. Wait, I'm just exposing myself.
What I do remember when Chinese started reopening, though, and I do remember this, the really, really racist dickheads that were. I remember this being so fucking funny. Well, it's not funny, like it's bad, but like laughing at the ignorance is when people are going like, "I'm not going to a Chinese shop because the virus came from China." And you're like, are you fucking serious? Like, how weird?
Literally, it's I mean, like that's I think another thing about like the whole year of 2020 was, you know, the amount of like. You know, even like I said, I'll probably go on to it a bit, you know, come more talking about Christmas time with like people at work experiencing customers, you know, the amount of like idiots in like bigotry you just see on like a daily basis. You know, I think a lot of people can relate to that over the course of this year.
It really makes you question yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, people really this dumb, or like, am I just not seeing this right? Or
it's mental, honestly.
But yeah, so we get to like you're saying, like things are reopening and things are getting a bit, you got that sense of normality back, didn't you, where it wasn't perfect but it was nice. So we've got takeaways open, you've got the pubs not open, you couldn't go in but you could go out, takeaway pints. And I remember what we would do is I'd get my pint from like the likes of Brewdog, and I'd go down to like the old Weatherspoons, which is obviously closed, and I'd just sit in spoons with me pals, with like me 6 pals, and we'd sit in the likes of like the beer gardens, which are all closed, but would just sit on the tables and like pretend the pubs were open. And like that's a weird thing, like I never thought that. But even before then, mate, I was drinking in fucking fields again. I thought I was 16 for a minute. Like, what the fuck? I never thought I'd be doing that again. But since nothing was open, I'd take like 2 of me pals and we'd go drink in a fucking field.
I honestly remember you asking me when we went back to work, and you were like, "Oh, Chris, do you want to come drink it, like where is it that you fucking said some like some field somewhere." I can't remember.
There's
where
a field
it
near
was.
mine. I've got this little private fucking field that I was using as a pub.
It's just like, "Oh, do you come drink?" I was like, to be honest, no, like not really. Like
why, mate?
But like, no, like I know what you mean. It was definitely nice to be able to see people again. I
For
think.
all I was
Like...
concerned, we could have had our fucking Christmas staff night out on a field, and I would have been happy.
Oh god, but no,
But
it
no,
was.
You're right.
It was
It was
definitely
just seeing
nice
people,
just
wasn't
to
it?
be able to like
Yeah.
socialize. I think that's the thing which I think people miss the most. Yeah, like it's actually just being able to like see your mates. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like we, you know, I know obviously you play games, I play games. We often like talk to our mates over, you know, whether it's Discord or some
Yeah.
sort of like talking over online. But it's different actually seeing people like in
It's
person.
not the same, like, yeah.
It's actually like catching up with people. I don't really feel as if you can have a proper catch up with someone over
Nah.
over like just messenger or like talking like even like how we
It's
are
not the
now.
same, because it's not natural.
Yeah, it's a lot less interpersonal, I think, and it was like I said, that was the nicest thing. I think was I remember, obviously talking about places reopening. One thing which I thought was probably the strangest was actual pubs and bars reopening.
Oh. But I
Because
tell you what, how fucking amazing was your first pint?
I mean, it was. I mean, the thing was that honestly, though, I mean, I'm not a big drinker, but like, it was.
Yes, he's a fanny.
Yeah, wait. It was kind of it was nice being able to go back out and like actually, because I don't really drink much in the house, and I only really drink when I do go out, and it was like that nice sort of like social drinking sort of that experience again. But it was, I remember we went out, I think I only went out once or twice once the places started reopening, and we had to like book the pubs or the bars. You had to like ring up and you'd be like,
No, I don't miss that.
no, yeah, that was a night of shit.
miss that.
Yeah, to like ring up and be like, yeah, I'm booking like an hour and a half slot.
Oh, right. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah,
Hour and a half slot? What the fuck? What are
literally,
you gonna
like I don't know why they were like an hour and a half, and it was this strangest stuff because I obviously I understand that they needed to like measure how many people were in the place, but at the same time it was shit. It took away a lot of the fun of nights out when you would like walk around. But anyway, like getting away from like my original point about the pubs, I don't know about you, but one of the strangest things was having people like wait at your tables for your drinks. Like,
Yes.
I thought so
I
fucking
hate
weird.
that.
I thought it was so weird because
Oh, mate. You would get up to go to the pub and like you'd have like fucking like 43 members of staff going like, oh, wait. Oh,
Yeah,
no."
literally.
And you're like, oh, shit, sorry.
But it was
It's like
weird
that.
though,
I'm
because
just going
obviously
to the pub, I'm just going for a piss.
I can't really remember whether it was illegal to actually like get up to the bar and order your own drinks. I can't remember like what the rules were, but
You weren't supposed to.
because I remember there was some places that I went to that definitely allowed it. And
Some pubs didn't give a fuck, but you
Yeah.
weren't supposed to.
but I remember like it was so strange. You going to sit, you sit down somewhere and you're looking at the menu, then someone's like, oh, can I take your drinks? I was like, what the fuck? Like this, like I was
I
like,
love socialising at the bars.
I mean, in all honesty, I didn't mind it. I thought it was alright. You having like, you had your own little private table, you had your own little,
Fucking unsociable cunt, man.
you had your own little personal service. You're like clicking your fingers. Yeah, I wanna, yeah. Click your fingers.
Yo, bartender.
Oh, yee. Like as we just like do everything we hate that people do to us in retail. Like we just do it to like bar staff. But no, like it was
I would
strange.
not want to have been working in a bar through that time, like.
No, it would have been brutal. Like I mean, I remember we went to some club, Soho Rooms. Don't go there in Newcastle because the bouncers are
Shit.
arseholes.
You mean we as in like you and your pals, and me and you?
Not me and you. I think I went with my pals.
Right,
and-
okay, right. It's just when you said we, I thought you meant me, and I'm sitting there going, how fucked was that? I don't remember us going to Soho.
No, I remember, and like we had the place booked. Again, you had
Was
to
it
book
through
your
lockdown?
slots. Yeah, it was through lockdown, right? And
shit.
we had the place booked because it wasn't like a club as such. You had to have a table, so like you couldn't stand up. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you had a table. You booked it out. I think we had it booked from like 11 till 12:30. Again, an hour and a half time slots. Don't ask me why there were an hour and a half time slots. I don't have a fucking clue why there was that. But
I think it's just to get people in and out.
yeah. But no,
Like, to get more people in, more people out,
Yes.
and keep it controlled, but it's shit.
yeah, and we had that booked, and I remember we turned up there probably, I don't know, maybe like 10 to 11, get there a little bit early, get in the queue. And I remember we literally ended up having, we got ushered around to the smokers area, and we were there until about like 20 to 12, and we still hadn't been sat at our table. And like we'd seen like several like people, mainly girls, get sent in who didn't even have a booking. They just got allowed in, and we were like,
Fuck.
"Yeah, what's going on here?" So one of our mates went around, and he ended up getting started on by pretty much one of the assistant
No way,
managers,
man.
because he was asking, we've been sitting around the smokers area for 40 minutes. We're waiting for a table. And it ended up proper kicking off. And we ended up getting like the manager came out and ended up sitting us down because he knew that they'd fucked up essentially. But
Yeah.
it was like that's just an example of like it's a mix between like how difficult it would have been at the time.
That, though. That's a completely another conversation because that's like bouncers. As
Oh
much as you get
yeah,
the odd night
yeah.
Bouncers are the biggest dickheads going.
Oh, 100%.
The amount of bouncers that have tried to throw me out for saying I'm too drunk when I'm clearly not, and like not let me in, but then seeing like an attractive lass that's clearly underage and they don't give a fuck. They're like, oh yeah, darling, do you wanna come to the club? Like, fuck off, you bald cunt.
But like, no, it meant to really sort of like say like I don't envy the people who worked there at the time. Maybe got off a bit of a tangent there, but like it would have been definitely a hard thing to do.
Yeah, totally. You gotta have a bit of respect, like how men like people be getting drunk a lot easier because a lot of people weren't drinking as much. So people are just drunk and disorderly, but it's even worse when you've got all these strict rules that people aren't properly following. Because as soon as you get drunk, you want to start hugging your mates, you want to start jumping around, having a dance, like you know what I mean. But
yeah,
you
100%.
can't. So I do feel bad for the bar staff.
Yeah, I think like sort of like moving away from like obviously first opening and doing that. I think a lot of the stuff as time went on, everything started becoming like it just felt like it was the norm. So I don't know about you, like at work wearing a mask. That the whole like wearing a mask thing is just, to me, it's like I won't go out now. I think it'd be strange going into a shop without a mask.
It's like your keys, isn't it? It's like you think of right, what have I got? I've got my phone, yep, cool. Got my wallet, yep, got my card, house keys, and mask. And I even bring 2 masks. Like I've always make sure I've got 2 masks. I wear one where I'm sitting on the bus, and that's just a nice, easy. It's a Biffy Clyro one, fucking up, I'm on the biff. Whack that one on. It's a nice one that I put on the bus, and then I get to work, and then I'll put my tie one on, the balls one.
Yeah.
And that's like the normal for me now. Like I'll never leave the house without being like, oh, keys, wallet, 2 masks. Oh, right, good to go. Do you know what I mean? Like it would be weird.
I think it's
like, so strange.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like I think it's start of 2020 to think that like wearing masks is almost like it's just normal, and I genuinely think that that'll be something which people will still do.
Yeah,
well, like after this
it's like adapting into like a lot of Asian cultures.
Like
Japan and that still do that, and I don't think it's a bad thing, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean I remember reading recently that the amount of like common colds and like the flu cases have gone down massively this year. And it's probably been because of the fact that people have been wearing masks, so it's been transmitting much less.
I think the likes of shopping centres and that, I would rather not wear a mask because fuck me, it's a pain. But like I think the likes of like public transport and like even like in a lot of cultures like the likes of like Japan, a lot of them they will like if they get a cold or something, they'll still go out obviously, but they'll make it on themselves that they will wear a mask. They don't have to, but it's seen that you would do that. Which
just a nice, courteous thing to do. It's polite.
They care about not infecting other people, even though it is just a cold. It's nice to know that someone cares enough. You know what I mean? So I think stuff like that, I would definitely embrace that, and I'd be like, "Sound, I'd wear a mask on a bus."
Same. I think
it's the spread. Yeah,
it's one of those things where if you do feel a bit naff, why not? What's stopping?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This is the funny thing is that like it becomes the normal for us, but. Again, what I was gonna go and talk on as we get further down the line, and as like it looks like the first like wave, is quieting down a bit. It's people.
It's
I
just
think
where we come to what I call the honeymoon period of the lockdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it was. I mean, if not a bit after that, in all honesty, but like the honeymoon period in the sense that I kind of feel as if a lot of people forgot it was a thing. A lot of people became really like blasé with the way that they were acting, and I mean, again, I'm going to go back to work because I think it's one of the best places to sort of like
you see it all. You
get
see
a grip for like how it sort of like was. Like it was literally like how busy the place started being, how many people were in the shop, how many people were in the shopping centre, how many people stopped wearing their masks before it became mandatory in a lot of places.
What about this one? I'm going to use this bit of toilet roll as a prop for you, and you're probably going to know exactly what I'm going to say. So I'm a customer. I've got my mask on. I'm like, Yeah, excuse me, mate. You got any fucking DS games?
I know, like literally, it's like flipping. It's ridiculous. The people, like they've got like a nice little. You got a big ass screen, right? Stopping like anyone from coming down. There's a little gap down here, a little gap, and they're like, "You're right, mate. I've come to trade in some games, all right."
Lives.
Yeah, that's a good one. But it was people just started being so stupid, and it was so easy to take the piss out of people. And I think like there was a. It was just so fucking easy to like just like take the mick out of people and just keep
really
going.
Was.
But I mean,
I tell you what,
yeah, go on.
Like we'll move on to like what, like this is what I mean, like the honeymoon period of lockdown, and this is where me like this was like my highlight of 2020. I went from doing like pretty much fuck all to like I said fuck it a lot more, not in like the illegal way of being like, oh fuck the virus, it doesn't exist. Like, I was still like voting by the rules, but this is like the point of the year when like if you remember you could meet up to 30 people outdoors and you were allowed to do this. This was the time where it very much felt normal. And it was where you could go into groups for 30. It was 30 or under. I can't remember. Something like, you know which one I mean. And you could start traveling a bit as well. You probably shouldn't have, but you were allowed to. It was legal. So I started doing a lot more. So like, this was the time in the year where I was very much like, right, I've got a bit of money because I'd saved it up. I'm sick of my life. And this by lockdown, I was sick. This is like later on. This is kind of near the end which we'll get to because it definitely got worse before it got better. And it's definitely worse again now, but another point. So me and my pals booked up to go to Prague. So
well, like why not? I mean, it's it was a time though where like stuff was coming down and it was I got it was
definitely getting better.
Yeah, it was really, it got to a stage where it was pretty much new cases a day, in there, getting below 10 and stuff a lot of the time, in the country. So I can't remember when you went to Prague, did you have to wear a mask on the plane? Like, was that
So I'll get on a bit about the whole trip as a whole because it was a weird experience. So like we went to Prague, and I don't remember dates, but it was when it was like you were allowed to and shit. And I went with like a few of my mates, maybe like 8 of my mates. It was a great time. So on the planes and that, like transport shit, you all had to wear masks like normal. That was fine. Like, and I tell you what, Prague isn't far away, which is I'm very thankful for because a plane journey with a mask on is shit.
Yeah.
And like for an example, coming home from Prague, I fell asleep and I drooled all down this mask, and I just had wet lips around here the whole fucking journey, and it was not nice. But we all had to do it, and people were doing it, and that was fine, and I didn't mind. So getting there is a different story. So we get there, we get off the plane. I tell you what, it was like a different world. It was like COVID didn't exist, and it was weird because like I would be lying if I say I didn't enjoy that because like who wouldn't like that? But it wasn't good.
Yeah, it was.
If you look at like the Czech Republic, like now they're like the second highest. I mean, we're the highest of deaths, but they're like the second highest, and I'm not surprised because they just didn't give a fuck. They were just like, masks, nah. It's almost like they were offended if you wore a mask.
Yeah,
it was that like brutal. But I'd be like I say, I'd be lying if I didn't say it wasn't quite nice because it was that little like breather. Pardon the like, you get what I mean. But it was that like nice little thing of like, this felt normal for once, and it was like I can have a nice holiday. I could go places. I could go, and I tell you what, the big drum roll here, clubs were open. What the fuck?
I mean, like that's insane though to think about, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
even like at the best point in what it was in the UK, clubs never opened because all clubs mean is that boys and girls, or boys and boys, or girls and girls, whatever it is, they're gonna come together and they're gonna have a nice time. You know what I mean? They're gonna have a nice time.
Very nice. Well, actually, Proxy, if you read the rules of what you're allowed to do, you were allowed to shag, but you just had to shag in positions where you weren't facing each other.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
The big one that made me laugh was no licking off the anus.
Yeah, well, it's dangerous. But no, like it was how that was allowed is insane. But I can relate with the plane journey. Obviously, I mean, I went to Greece. I can't remember when it was. I think it was like late August. So it was just before, because I remember it was kind of sketchy when we went. I think it was September actually, because it was just as places started being like off the travel list. So I don't know if you remember at the time, like the Canary Islands, for example, you couldn't go anymore because it was rising cases across there, and they didn't want them bringing back.
But funny enough, just quickly before you continue, sorry to interrupt.
Right.
It's funny you say that about the travel list thing, because as soon as we got back from Prague, about 3 days later, you weren't allowed to go to Prague.
Yeah, no. I know there was loads of places like that, and like it was like, oh, should we go away? You know, if I have to be off work for 2 weeks, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world, would it? But
Yeah.
it was it was very much like I said, but like obviously Greece is like 4.5 hours on the plane, and it was obviously I've traveled a lot further than that, but it was never with the mask on, and I was like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I've wore a mask at work. It's fine. I wear a mask, 9 hours a day at work. It's fine. But I don't know, something about being on a plane. I don't know if it's like the pressurized air. It's not nice. I mean, like I said, I don't know if anyone, obviously with us we have, but I don't know if anyone relate to that. It's something which it's definitely. I wouldn't recommend it being like a fun thing to do. Actually, I mean, if I go on holiday this year, it's gonna be like flipping just as bad. But yeah, go on about Prague if you want. If you
like spit and drill. So Prague. A lot of shit happened in Prague. It's a fucking weird place. Like, there's a bit of a step away from like COVID and shit. It's just like mainly about Prague. I'm having a little chat about now, but like, it's a lovely place. Have you been to Prague?
No, I haven't. No, I've heard quite like good reviews about it though. I know quite a few people who've been. So,
like, I know like some of my pals will probably be watching this, or I went to Prague with, and like they've got really mixed opinions on like what that holiday was like. Because I tell you what, it was fucking carnage. Like, it was mental, but like. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I would go back. I thought it's a beautiful place. Like, the buildings are absolutely lush. But what I will tell you, it's very ropey. It's a dodgy place. Like, I mean, the lads I went with, I love them a bit, but they're fucking, we're a disaster waiting to happen when we're all drunk. Like, so it's a ticking time bomb until something goes wrong.
Lads on tour in Prague, sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, mate, it actually is. Like, it's awful. But like, it is a dodgy place. But like, it's also a lovely place, and I'm going back a couple times over the next couple of years, because I've got a festival booked for next year in Prague, and I know one of my mates, McCabe, we're planning on going interrailing sometime either end of this year or next year, whenever we can, really. And
whenever you can, literally.
Yeah, literally. So, I love the place. I'm definitely going back. So, like, I'm not put off by it, but it is dodgy. But like, even things like, and I'll never forget this, like, going back to like the whole COVID side of it, was like getting there and it was boiling hot. We went the perfect time. It was roasting out. Fuck me, it was so nice. And getting there. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, pints are equivalent to under £1.
Well, that in its own, sort of area is a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
It's yeah,
and I don't know if Richie will end up watching this, but yeah, he knows what the disaster, and Philip actually, they know the disasters of drinking from 9 o'clock in the morning on £1 pint. But no, it's just like it's bonkers. Like, I remember going to one of the restaurants for breakfast with it was me, Aaron, and Mickey, and I'm sorry if I forgot someone. I think I have, but we're all chilling. I feel really bad now, but we're all chilling. And we're like, right, let's get breakfast. The breakfast, to be honest, the food was shite. The food was pretty shite the whole holiday, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And I remember being like, right, I'm gonna have this breakfast. That's nice, cool. I'll order that. And I was like, right, I was gonna have a pint, but I was like, you know what? I'm dehydrated. I'll probably get a glass of water. How much is that? It was cheaper to get a pint than it was to get a glass of water.
Wait, why? You're never gonna get water, are you? You know what I mean? Like, it's always gonna be.
I was like, fuck off, water.
Like, nah, I'm not having any water today. No, sir. Like, yeah.
Just backhanding the water bottles. Like, you know what? I'm really dehydrated. My piss literally looks like the fucking sugar monster, the sugar puppy monster. What's a good idea to do right now? Have another pint.
Yeah. It's the best cure for a hangover, isn't it? Just keep drinking.
It is, mate.
It's like,
and that's pretty much what we did. It was great, and it was a nice little break. But what I remember, the main thing, like, I tell a lot of people this story just because of how bonkers it was. We're going through a global pandemic, right? And we're going to nightclubs and shit. Like, that's normal. We went to like a fucking like rooftop nightclub. That was insane. It was like a full-on rave, mate. Like, how bonkers is this? We went into this club. It was like this really classy club where you got to get a lift. There's a rooftop. It was really cool. And we get there, and they've got like a DJ, and they've got like a full-on like rave going. So we're just amongst all these, and there's like cannons going off. There's like confetti guns. It's insane. And I'm just like, we're going through a pandemic, and I'm just fucking like, which is weird.
As if like the events of the past like 4 or 5 months just haven't happened. It's just like completely taken out 2020. We're living in a different year again. It does seem like fucking bonkers that like
it's crazy. Like that happened in 2020 as well, and like, even more so. Like, we first got to Prague. I remember this. Like, it's just lads being lads. It was funny as fuck. We're like, right, we got the strip club here. So the strip clubs are all open, by the way.
That way, yeah.
So we go to the strip club, right? And it was called like Goldfingers or something. And the lad's like, right, it's there's like a show on right now. Do you just want to go to the show? And we're like, sure. So we get and we go in and we're sitting there. In fairness, right, I'm saying that I wasn't there at that one. I was like in one. I was with like because we split into two groups.
He wasn't there at this one. Just so everyone knows, he wasn't there at this one. So just
No, so I remember like just one of my mates, Aaron, tells us a story. Like they got there and it was just like they walked in. They're like, what's this going to be? They're sitting down this the stage, and like three girls just walk on. I forget exactly what happened, but they just all fucking like fisting each other in a triangle, and they were just like, where the fuck are we? Like it's like a different world, mate. It's insane. It's so weird.
Oh,
but like it's such a laugh. Like, I've still got like the leaflets from like different strip clubs, like Hot Peppers and that. Like, it's just fucking funny.
It's crazy though, isn't it? That like that shit. Like, no wonder that we can now go on and talk about the fact that everywhere went back into lockdown afterwards, right? Because how can anyone be surprised when shit like that was going on?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day,
I can't preach about it because I did it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes, it was legal. Yes, I was allowed to.
That's
but
the
like,
thing, though, is that like
use your common sense. You shouldn't.
At the end of the day, if stuff's legal and you can do it, it's like it's not really like an individual's responsibility to. It's it's at the end of the day, the book should stop higher than we as people.
Yeah.
But that's before I
but
go
like
on a
as
rant
a
about
whole
that.
Prague, before we move on a bit, like lovely place. It was a great time. I go for hours. Like, in fact, I can guarantee, because I've got loads to talk about Prague, which I'm not going to mention today because it's more about lockdown shit like that. I reckon we'll probably do another episode where we talk about holidays and shit, and it can get brought back up. But like shit like that, like it was like a breath of fresh air. And I keep saying this and then realizing I'm making like fucking mask jokes, which aren't funny. But it was really refreshing. It was like being in a world where COVID didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh fuck yeah, that's what living your life is like again, innit? Like, oh, that is nice. And then you come home and you can't leave the house not long after, and it's like
Yeah, no, literally, yeah. I mean, like I said though, it's the fact that like I think everything went back. It did start. I mean, obviously, yeah, like clubs didn't open in the UK again, but stuff did start
but you could see your pals,
returning. Back to sort of like more of a sense of like what normal was, and I think as that happened. Like I said, I mean, I wasn't surprised. I don't know if you were when we ended up going back in. And I mean, like, obviously, like, with it being, because it was just for the month of November originally, wasn't it? And
well, I didn't even go, like, I worked through it, so, like, that's lockdown. Like,
so
it wasn't even, like, a lockdown for me, do you know what I mean?
But, like, it was, for me, it was kind of weird, because it didn't really, I personally didn't feel like it felt like as much of a lockdown as what the first one did. I mean, obviously, definitely wouldn't have for you because you were still at work, but
yeah, it was no different for me. Like,
it felt
apart
like,
from, like I've got a few funny stories of like dickheads still coming in the Metro Centre, which is where we work. Probably shouldn't say that actually, but
come find us. I'm sure you can figure it out.
We're so famous, mate. We're so famous. All these 16 subscribers are gonna come get us.
We'll give you an autograph. Just come in.
I'll be signing like through like a game, just like. But like shit like that, like I worked through it, and the shop was shut. It was like me and a couple of managers just working through it, getting shit done. Cause it was over the launch of like consoles, and I tell you what, so many people were still coming to the shutters and banging on, going, "Oh mate, I'll be quick. Can I please buy SpongeBob on the PlayStation?" And you're like, "No, like fuck off."
Yeah, no, but it's like, for me though, going back to like what I said originally, like one of the strangest things which I thought was like when takeaways were closed, and I think they didn't close down the second lockdown, they just kept going, and like, I think that it just felt like I was, let's go for a Nando's, let's go pick up a Nando's. It never felt like it was ever as like urgent as like what it was, but it got kind of bad, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be similar to last time. We'll maybe shut down. Lockdown 2 or 3 months, and then like all of a sudden it's just like, nah, like, we're opening back up for the month of December, the Christmas month, right? We're gonna open everything up, just
see
4
your
people.
pals.
You can see your pals. You can go and meet up with whoever you want, essentially, right? You can go back and you can go to the Metro Centre and you can go with your family and you can go buy all your Christmas presents. Right
Go
now,
play board games.
I'm not a scientist, as I think a lot of people have developed over the period of 2020. A lot of people have turned into scientists. You'll go on Facebook and you'll see plenty of people with PhDs and
Fair play to them. Like, I wish it was that easy to write
viral diseases. You know what I mean?
Get a PhD.
It's pretty impressive, but I'm not a scientist, and I could have probably told someone that opening everything for the month of December was not a good idea.
Nah, I disagree,
Right?
man. I think it's a great idea.
I don't know. Like, am I missing something with that? But anyway, like I said, December happened.
COVID doesn't exist over Christmas, remember?
Oh,
Santa
yeah,
doesn't like it.
Santa-
We just
Santa-
like use a ho 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 and like COVID
I was hoping Santa didn't catch COVID. We said it to plenty of customers. We said it to plenty of customers. I'm sure like
we were saying to customers, I hope Santa hasn't died of COVID.
But I'm sure we'll get into some funny work stories in another podcast because I'm sure we've got plenty of those. But no, like it was going back to like originally what we were talking about with customers and how stupid some customers were. Like they were coming in for such stupid shit because obviously, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to try and take away any trade from where I work because I might get fired for that. But like, there was certain stuff that they were coming in for. So, like, for example, digital credit. So when you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, right, you can buy stuff in a shop with a little code on it, and then you put it in, you can spend money on your console. You can just buy that directly on the console if you've got a debit card, right?
Remind everyone as well that digital credit is like, especially over lockdown, was our biggest seller.
Yeah, no,
so it's not just like a few people were doing it. Like every cunt was coming in for it,
hundreds of people come in over Christmas. Oh, especially over Christmas time, because it's like what every kid wants. They want to spend money on Fortnite, whatever the shit they play on.
E-bucks.
And they did not need to be in the Metro Centre in game to buy these like products, but they did. They came in and. There were a lot of respectful people who understood about the virus and came really in. Nice people still. Maybe they had to come in. Maybe they wanted to pay with cash or whatever. There were people who.
Yeah.
But it was the amount. It was the actual sort of like volume of people coming into the Metro, because it honestly felt like. Even like after it reopened in July, it still felt the Metro Centre, and I'm sure a lot of shopping centres around the country were like this. We're still kind of like in that medium phase where it wasn't busy. But it was getting back to more, it felt normal, but the days were kind of like still quite slow. December was literally just throw that shit on its head. It was, if you went on your lunch break, you couldn't move around in the centre because it was that many people. And
you'd go for a KFC and you'd be waiting for about 3 days to get the KFC.
Yeah, literally. Like, and they get your order wrong. You have to go back round there, storm around and be like, yeah, there's bones in this chicken. I asked for boneless chicken, you pieces of shit.
Are you so salty about that?
Still salty about that. But no, it's crazy to think that like how busy it was in December, and again, I think people just kind of completely forgot about it, and we're now in the situation that we're in now, where we're back in another lockdown, and it's
funny.
It's frustrating that it's
frustrating that it's back like this, but at the same time, I'm kind of like I'm being like the strictest I've ever been on myself right now.
Yeah.
Christ, will get the hiccups. Hang on.
But no, I think
might be in the strictest, like in the sense of like rules and shit. Like as much as I've stuck to the rules pretty much throughout, I'm being now the most of like, right, it's 2021. It's coming up a year. This needs to fuck off. Do you know what I mean? And I just wish a lot more people would think that way, because it is like, don't give a fuck what you agree with or disagree with. I just want it. I want to have a summer. I want to go to gigs.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? It's like, I want to go on holiday. Please let me go to where I want to go, dude. Because it's getting to that stage now where it's going back to what I originally said was the holiday that I had booked last year in April. I was like, I can book it again next year. It's all right. Whereas it's getting to the stage now where it's like, shit, can I book it again this year?
Literally, it's what you keep thinking. It's like, is it going to be possible?
At what stage in 2021 can I go to where I want to go to without having restrictions on me when I go there? So without like, places being closed or whatever. So it's getting to the stage now where it's, looking forward. I don't want to be pessimistic about 2021. I want to try and think that it's going to get better soon, vaccinations and that.
My optimism's kind of running out, to be honest.
I just want to get back to normal, like you said.
I want to get back to
yourself,
normal.
you want to
Well.
go to
I
festivals,
miss life.
and yeah, it's like it'll be the strangest shit. Will be going back out, like on a proper night out, in like with the boys, because that I think is something which
crazy one.
It's gonna be crazy. Like that will
like
have
you say
that.
You're not that arsed about nights out, but like you can even say this yourself. Like
No, like,
how
I do
fucking
want to
good
go
is
out.
this first
I
night out
do
gonna be?
want to go out. I do genuinely want to go out, because it's. I think even as someone who isn't like massively bothered about it anymore, I do kind of miss it when it's something which I haven't done in like a year.
Well, it's
Essentially,
not even like that you haven't done it in a while. It's more like you like having the option.
yeah.
So it's
To go
not
when
like
you
you're
want.
saying like, oh, because I totally agree. Like as much as I'm not even gonna lie, but I don't love nights out. I fucking love nights out. I'm out most weeks if I can. But I'll much prefer just sitting in a pub and chill with my mates and getting. I always get fucking mortal. But like, I still prefer going to like a pub over a club. But like, even things like that, I still like the option of having a club to go to.
Yeah.
But you take all of it away. Mate, likes of Digi Mondays, it's shit, but it's like fun shit that you like the option to go to. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not allowed to go there anymore. I'm too old now.
Nah, you go like me. I'm not even old, and I feel like a fucking.
You're too
paedophile
old
walking
now,
through
man.
Digi
You're
Mondays,
too
like,
old. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be Royal Paris's favorite club.
No, but it's I think, like I said, like looking forward, like I hope stuff does start getting better, and I hope stuff does start getting back to normal sooner rather than later. And like I think
Later,
you do have to
100%.
have like that positive outlook on it.
Well,
And
I think for me, just quickly, because I know we're gonna have to like wrap it up soon. But like the way I looked at it really was like it was kind of like the glimpse into what the future's like is just after when I got back from Prague, shit was still good. Me and a couple of others, we hosted our own festival. So this sounds a lot worse than it really is. So
he's not
this is
exposing
again-
himself, ladies and gentlemen. It was fully legal, just so everyone
I was just
listening
about
and
to say-
watching.
I just want to say you were allowed to do this. We definitely checked. This was very much legal. It was all done properly. I am not a dickhead that was fucking it all up. And by the way, we all got tests. We were all fine. So anyways, moving on from that. So this was kind of like the glimpse into what the future was like for me. And it was like a nice, confident feeling where like what we did is we, me and a couple of others, a girl lives on a farm up. Fuck knows where she lives. Big field though. I don't give a fuck, but we had a place to session in. We got a few of us over, and then we got like I think it was about 30 of us went because that was the legal amount you were allowed to if it was outdoors. And what we did is all those people would usually go to the likes of Leeds Fest and Reading, which is like my favorite festival.
Yeah.
So I'm missing festivals this year. I'm devastated. I love festivals. I miss them so much. So we thought, right, we'll do our own. So we had like a big fire. We had like a big circuit of tents. We basically just got fucking mortar for like 3 days. I did the design work for the festival. Little promo.
Check this man out.
You what?
Check this man out. Geordie Jack
Hey.
on Fiverr. You're not on Fiverr.
I'm not a Fiverr. Should I just do the thing that all the YouTubers do where they're like, and check right here for my design page? And just not edit it.
I'm not
Sounds
editing
like
that
a
shit in.
regular-
I'm not editing that.
it's like here, but it's just gonna be fucking nowhere. So like we did it properly, so we had like Portaloos hired, and it was honestly the best time. I think it was probably even above Prague. Like, oh, it was insane, man. I had a great time, but it was like again, these are the stories that we'll mention again in like another podcast where we can properly talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not really relevant what we're talking about today, but that was to me that was like a little glimpse into what like 2021 is going to be like, and then we'll start 2021 and it's a bit like but I feel like if people start if we start sticking by the rules, if people start doing it properly, we've still got hope for summer 2021 at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to be the best summer ever if shit goes to normal.
Yeah, like
I fucking mental it'll be, man.
I do know what you mean. Like I said, hopefully going forward it's gonna get better, and it's gonna like people are gonna be able to go back, and next year, September time come, people are going back to university, school. Hopefully everything's gonna get back to normal.
Mate, I want to celebrate my 21st.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've just had me quarter of a century birthday. Like what that was. I was sitting at home, you know, I don't even know what I was doing. I can't remember. Maybe I had an alcoholic beverage. I think I had some
Crying.
blue. I think I had some blue raspberry vodka, and I was just like, well, I'm an old man now. That was
not what you're drinking in the profile picture as well.
probably, I don't know, maybe.
Paul crying brew.
I love me some iron brew me.
Iron brew, right?
No, but like I said, I know this, you know, maybe it's episodes, you know, maybe a little bit gloomy at times. But I think at the same time, you know, lockdown, I think a lot of people can probably relate to, you know, some of the stuff that we talked about. And
but we've shown that it's still good to 2020. It's not been. I mean, it's probably been the worst year in a fucking like century. But like,
no, yeah, for sure.
They're still showing that people can still have a good time. And like, even if we are like going back to the likes of like Zoom quizzes and that, where like shout out to the NAPUB quiz, like unbelievable. Like every weekend getting a group of people together, like up to like loads of people all coming on. By the way, on Zoom, I'm talking about here. On Zoom, getting drunk, shit like that. It was great, and like stuff like that isn't bad.
Yeah, no.
But it does show like there is positives to the negatives.
Yeah, I think it's definitely
It's not
been
a fucking wank year though.
It's been like one of the strangest years, I think that.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I
Weird's
think
the right
we've
word,
probably ever like lived through. It's been such a strange and weird year, but I think, you know, it's definitely, I think most people have tried to make the best of it, and well, yeah, like you said, we've had some funny stories come out of it. You know, we're just like people, you know, stuff that we've seen, stuff that we've done.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so it's funny to look back on, and I think that like there'll be plenty of other people out there who have done the same stuff as us and have probably, you know,
Definitely
enjoy listening to this and sort of relating to their own sort of shit that they've done over the year. So
I fucking hope so.
We're fingers crossed, right? I mean, I hope people haven't just been like depressed sitting on their own the entire year, even though I know there might be some people out there that have, you know, had a rough
Let's
year.
be real,
but
like mental health and shit like that will be really, really bad throughout times like these, and it's never like that. Mine's not perfect myself, so like I know what it's like. It is shit, but like hopefully hearing about like, you know, you gotta be optimistic at the end of the day.
You've got to be optimistic, like yeah, you have to be, and hopefully we're getting there with it. Hopefully we're getting there in 2021.
Fingers crossed.
Some good shit, but yeah, we'll wrap this one up.
We'll have some more clarity of what the fuck's going on and if we've got things to look forward to.
And that, and tell you one thing, episode 3, you won't have to wait 3 months for next time, because
right. Sorry, we never really got into that, did we?
No, but like I said, I'm sure we can probably wrap it up a bit more. We can talk about it a bit more in the next one, but you won't have to wait 3 months. We promise. It'll be up in maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks or something for the next one.
Couple of weeks, this will be up, and then we'll try and we'll start going back to what we said originally.
Yes.
Obviously, we're not going to force ourselves to film something if we don't feel like we've got enough to talk about, or if we don't want to talk about anything. It's not going to be forced because it's something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be a lot more regular. There's going to be these episodes. So at the end of the day, my fucking royalty-free video in the background. That's the sign we need to end. But yeah, so basically that episode 2, lockdown as a whole. Episode 3, hopefully. Fuck me, hang on.
Yes, look at this ad. Let's go.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
hey,
man,
look,
it was going
that's
so
it.
well.
That's it, episode 3. Look, just keep talking about this. This is going straight through it. I'm not editing anything this time because I'm just so busy. I'm so busy, so I can't have the time. Love up eBay. We'll get some eBay on.
We're now bigging up eBay. Promo, please sponsor us.
eBay and
man, why am I getting so many adverts?
We're gonna go now. Goodbye. I'll see you in episode 3.
We're gonna wrap it up now. Yeah, episode 3. We don't know what it'll be about yet, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. My computer's not gonna explode this time. But yeah, anyways, that was it. See you next time, really.
Yes, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you and see you in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.